be showing you guys two different demos today. One is a very short and simple one that's just really adorable, and I did it because it was kind of festive. Well, one of the sets is festive, and then I'll also be showing you guys how to make a belly band that is also a little secret pocket pullout as well. So that'll be the second one we're doing. So this first one are these little mini envelopes, and you can either get a vintage set, comes with different little vintage style envelopes with little sticker seals, or you can get these. I'll show you a couple different ones. This set is the Halloween and Wonderland set. So it's Alice in Wonderland, but it's got Halloween vibes. And those are the two different sets that are available. Let me pull this up real quick and pin it, which I should have done earlier. Alright, so that is pinned. And this is seriously one of like the simplest little paper crafts you can do, but they're absolutely adorable. Alright, so the set is going to come with 8 different, no matter which set you get, it comes with the same material. Oh, who won? Peace Out Vintage. Oh, look at that, you won. Would you like the apple blossoms or would you like the yellow daffodils? Apples! Alright, the apple blossom one is coming to you. Alright, so your kit will include 8 little envelope seals that are themed to match the envelopes, but you can kind of mix and match and coordinate them however you would like. And then you get 8 different little envelopes. You'll get 4 that are this style, which is more of your simple cut envelope, and they're all pre-scored. And then you'll get 4 that the flap that comes down is this pretty little frilly type, and they're also all pre-scored. And they are literally the simplest little thing you will do, because all you're going to do is fold in along your score lines. I always do the sides first so that they get held in better. And then your bottom, make sure that was actually my bottom. Nope, that was my top. So the Alice in Wonderlands kind of have more of a top and a bottom, the vintage ones, other than the ones that are frilly. They kind of go any direction you would like. And then all you gotta do is pick a little seal that you think coordinates well with the envelope. And tie it down. So you can make them where they're all empty, or you can put little papers in them or little stickers or whatever you like, and then you can slide these into little pockets of your journal or send them with gifts to friends and stuff like that. But I thought they were absolutely adorable. And that is literally all you have to do. And then let's do this one. I like the green one. It's so stinking cute. And there are some better pictures in the listing to show you all the designs that are on both of them, but they're absolutely adorable. And then this is the little frilly edge one, and we'll match our little green teapot one. I think it looks cute with the tea scene one. It's absolutely adorable little kit to make you a bunch of little mini envelopes, so you can make 8 of them. So that is my first little simple set, and then you just pick in the listing which one you would like. Alright, so I'm gonna set this over to the side, and then I'm gonna show you guys the pocket belly band. Thank y'all for looking at the cute little mini envelopes. All right, so the next thing we're going to look at is this little, so this is the second kit I've made for pocket belly bands. I also have a rose one, which, where's the rose examples I can pull up for you? Because the one I'm going to do today is going to be the fall one. And I also updated both the rose one and the fall one, and you can get it in 2 different sizes. So you'll be able to buy a kit that either has makes these that are 9.5 inches long, or you can buy the smaller one. They're smaller and a little bit wider, and it makes these are, I think, 5.25. But this is what the rose ones look like. So it comes with little rose stickers that you just cut in half to go on the ends, and then you can put the other half of each one on the inside so it color coordinates really well. So that's the example of the rose one, and then I'm going to be showing you guys this one tonight. Let me pin the fall belly band kit. All right. So the belly band kits, whether you choose to get the fall leaf one or you choose to get the rose one, the contents are similar. The biggest difference is that you get more stickers in the leaf one, so it's a little bit more expensive, but that is just because like the rose one I was showing you, they're really large stickers you can cut in half to decorate, and the leaves are not as big, so I included like double the stickers. But both of the kits will come with 2 pages of plain white cardstock and 2 envelopes in the size that you choose. I just have the smaller ones out here for example. And then you'll get 4 dictionary pages. I used to include 3, but with doing these that are a little wider, I added in another sheet. And then you'll get 4 little pre-cut, pre-scored little tabs. You'll get a yard of trim, which should be enough to go down the side of the belly band, no matter which size envelope you get. And then you'll get 16 different little PET leaf stickers. So they're the ones with the clear background, so there's no trimming or anything or borders on those. So that's everything that'll come in the little kit. Alright, so let's get started. Alright, so I already have half an envelope from when I made this one to be the example earlier. And all I did was measure and find the exact middle. But if you want to make it skinnier, you obviously can. You just want to go ahead and seal the envelope shut before you cut it, because it'll be opening from the side and not from its flap. So that is the half envelope. I'm going to get out my little cutter here. So I just took one of the sheets of cardstock and I trimmed it from the 8.5 inch side, and I trimmed it down to the same length as the envelope. So it comes out to 2.5 and then a little bit further than the like halfway to the next quarter, if that makes sense, whatever that marking is. So that is what we are going to cut this to. Come on. All right, so we have that. And then I'm going to cut a second one for the insert, and I'm going to make that one a little bit shorter. So instead of 2.5 and a little piece, I'm going to go back a little piece from 2.5. because you want it to be shorter so that it fits all the way in the pocket and hides. And then I'm also going to trim a little bit off the height of it so that it will also fit into the envelope well. And I mean, you don't have to be too exact. You just want it to be able to fit smoothly in, especially once you attach stuff to it. All right, so let's test this. Yep, so you want it to fit all the way inside and not be seen. So we got that going. All right, so now that we have our 2 cardstock pieces, I'm going to grab one of our dictionary pages. And usually I use glue. I'm only going to use glue on the trim tonight though, because I didn't want to make you have to sit here and watch me hold glue. If I can find, here we go. All right, so I'm going to use, and you can do this with the dry tape runner for everything except the trim if you would like. It does make it a little quicker. And as far as I can tell, they've been holding up the ones that I've done like this just fine. Put a strip right down the middle as well. All right, so I'm going to try to line this up with the top of the page, but I want to cut this frayed part off of the page. Line that up. There we go. And then we're going to cut this out by flipping it over. I'm going to trim. I think I can get quite as close as I would like. And then we're going to get our little frayed part. Okay. And now the page itself is slightly distressed because it's a vintage dictionary page, but I want to distress all around it, not just, it's mostly at the top where this page is aged. So I'm going to make that a little darker at the edge just to match. And then I'm going to distress all around it. And it is up to you if you distress it or not. You don't have to, of course. And you can use a lot, a little, any color you would like. I am using, this is the Vintage Photo Color from Jim Holtz. And you do want to wait to try to distress the dictionary page till you put it on the cardstock, because sometimes they can be kind of brittle and easy to break. So you want to wait till it has the cardstock to kind of give it strength. All right, so I've got that nice and distressed. So now I'm going to put ink fluff on it. put the dry run tape all on the edges of this cardstock, just like I did the dictionary page, or just like I did the other side of the cardstock, not on the dictionary page. I did learn the hard way that trying to put dry run tape onto vintage paper does not go well. And then we are going to figure out the side. So you can have it open either way you would like. I'm going to do mine opening to the right. So I'm going to make sure my dictionary page is that direction. And I'm going to start by lining it up with a corner. The rest of the top. And then, nope. That is one of the big differences between glue and tape. If you do glue, you can kind of wiggle it around for a moment. If you do the dry run tape, you don't really get that option. All right. That seems to be down pretty well. All right, so now we're going to do our little insert part. So before we go to attach the dictionary page, we're going to want to grab one of the little tabs out of the kit, and it does have a score line in the middle. So you're just going to want to fold along that and pinch it really well. And then run down both sides of this. And then I'm kind of just going to visually guesstimate my center here. If you want to measure, that is totally up to you. Alright, so now we have our tab on there. And then we're going to put the dry run tape on this, including over the tab. And then we're going to decide where we want to line this up. If we want the middle of the pages or the edge. Well, I'm not putting trim on this one because the trim, if you put it on the insert, it doesn't really fit into the envelope very well. I'm just going to kind of put that down the middle. Now, if you want to do both sides of the insert, you can. I don't usually bother just because for me, I'm not usually putting anything on the back of it. So on this one, I did a straight cut and I didn't cover the tab. You can also choose to go around it and cover it if you would like. It's kind of just a, it's up to you kind of thing. I don't usually want to cover it because I feel like it makes it blend in to the paper on the top and might make it harder to tell it's a little tab to pull. That makes sense. You don't want to miss pulling something out when you're going through your junk journal. Right. We'll save our vintage page scraps because I can always do stuff with that. Alright, so there we have that nicely covered now, and then we're going to go ahead and, oh, I got sticky for my mat. Hold on. Okay. We're going to get rid of the sticky mat. And I've also done where I've like rounded the corners of the insert, and you're more than welcome to do that if you would like. I'm just kind of leaving it full shape in its little pocket. So if you cut too much off, you can leave it trying to fall out, and you don't want that. And not cut very straight on the side. Hang on. If y'all remember last month I was talking about I can't cut a straight line to save my life, y'all. Okay. Yeah, it's straight-ish. And then I'm going to distress the whole tab since it's that bright white cardstock. And I am going to do the back of it a little bit because it can end up flipping up a little bit over pull time, like from pulling it. And I don't want it to look out of place. All right. I think that looks really good. We're going to test it real quick before I put stickers just to make sure I don't need to trim it or anything like that. And I'm going to have to glue down that edge. I did not put the dry run tape close enough to the edge. Yay, it fits. Okay, let me grab my glue real quick. Didn't put the dry run tape close enough to this edge and the paper keeps flapping up. Now, if you do use the glue route, you do want to be careful of the side with the opening because you don't want to accidentally glue your envelope shut because then that would kind of defeat the purpose. So I always kind of smush down and get all the extra bits out while I kind of hold that separate, which is why I wasn't going to do the whole thing with glue to show you. Double wipe. Okay. All right, since that is drying for a moment, I'm going to go ahead and stick some leaves, and you can do it however you would like to do it. I'm going to stick 2 of the leaves on the insert. Nice with these guys. I love those leaf stickers. They're so detailed, and I like that they don't have borders. The white borders on stickers sometimes frustrate me. Okay, so on our belly band part, I'm going to add a couple of the leaves. Oh, my clear part went over the edge a little bit. Hey everybody, welcome in. What's dry run tape? Oh, so dry run tape, it comes in a little rolly thing, kind of like the whiteout stuff that you can use, but instead of it being whiteout, it's just a like double sticky tape that rolls out, kind of like the whiteout would. But it's just sticky glue stuff that rolls out. And I was getting this AdTech brand, and then I started getting this one off Amazon because it was a little more cost effective and because I kept having this problem. I don't know if it was just like a bad couple of packages of AdTech tape, but they kept unraveling themselves, so they were driving me up the wall. So I tried somebody else. Might try AdTech again though, because it's like super, super sticky. Alright, let me measure out some trim. And then I do have fabric glue, but this is kind of a really thin ribbon. And a lot of times it'll go through it. I never stuck the second sticker on. Hold on. The fabric glue I have is thick. So I'm going to use I have a bookbinding glue that I like. It's like a neutral PVA one, so it doesn't have like acids and stuff in it. So it's not supposed to discolor the paper if it seeps out on it and it dries clear. I'm going to leave a little edge where you can see my distress part. Oh, I cut my ribbon a little long. I'll have to trim that off. I want to leave my little distressed edge poking out that I like. Oh, one of your post-it glue stick. You can reposition it. I have not. That's kind of crazy. P. Dizzle, you got some of your dry run tape stuck. I don't know what it is. Like, I was always talking about how that AdTech brand was my absolute favorite, and then I went through like 2 different packs where I just had spools of it that were just absolutely horrible. I feel like they got in demand and started sucking. All right, so we're gonna let that dry, but that is basically it. And then you can attach this. Now, some people, I've been like, you could just staple a belly band in. You don't want to staple this one unless you go in and trim down the size of your insert so that it wouldn't, interfere. You'd want to glue it in on the back side. Let's hope I don't get this stuck because the glue is still kind of dry or kind of wet. And now you have a cute little belly band that is also a little pocket, and you can of course add other stuff on it. Just if you add other trim to the insert, make sure it's just stickers or stuff that's really flat. But you can add little buttons or other stickers or whatever little embellishments onto the front of this, and it'll look absolutely adorable. That's just, and you of course can decorate the outside differently. You don't have to do it the way I did it, but I thought they were absolutely adorable. All right, let's see. I am going to pull out the longer one. And I'm going to show you one of the longer ones. It's basically the same steps. It's just different measurements. That. But I'm going to show you it with the roses. So I'm going to start with sealing my envelope up. Lurking in the background. Alright, so we sealed the little envelope shut. Get my cutter back out. We're going to chop this sucker in half. So this one is 4 1/8 inch wide. So we're going to do 2 and that little bitty line after it. It's halfway between 2 and 2 1/4. All right, so now we've got our half the envelope. Now this one is a little bit longer, but it is skinnier. Grab my cardstock. let's switch the listings. Let me pin, I'm going to pin the rose one now, which you can get either one with either size envelope. There's just a slight price difference because the amount of stickers I put in the fall one because I wanted more leaves. All right, so let's see. So we need our 11-inch paper to be 9.5. I'm going to trim this down just a little bit. I'll save that for something or another. All right, so now it is 9.5 inches long. Unless I can't measure. Oh, it's a little, I cut it a little too long. How can I manage that? Weird. Alright, we're going to cut it down a little bit just because I don't want it to have extra length for no reason. Alright. And this was 2 1/2 of an eighth. So 2. Alright, so that lines up where I covered that. And then we're going to do one that's a little bit skinnier. So I guess I'll just do 2. And we're also going to chop off just a little bit of the length so that it slides in and out easier. Okay, so that looks like, oh, it looks like it was cut crooked. You know, I can't even cut straight with a cutter. Okay, let me trim a little bit of the edge off. So it's hanging out. I'll make sure that fits. It does. It fits. Okay. Alright, so now we have our cardstock pieces cut and our envelope cut. Here the insert. Let's not mix them up. Alright. Alright. So with this one, so the 9.5 inch envelope is a little bit longer than the dictionary page, but we're going to be covering it with rose stickers, and then it's also going to be distressed, so it won't have a color difference between the vintage paper. And you know what? I might just use the glue, and we'll just have to, I can try not to be heavy glue handed. That way I don't have the flappy parts when I wasn't putting the glue on in a straight line. Like with that one earlier. Alright, so I'm going to line this up, but I'm going to do it so that it's like in the middle and kind of leaving space both at the top and the bottom a little bit. Alright. Alright, we're going to let that one dry before we distress it. And I'm going to go ahead and glue the dictionary page on the insert as well. Just get the other one. Ooh, that was more heavy-handed than I want it to be. And if you're feeling very specific, it is. I did have brushes, although the issue I kept having with brushes is I don't have a sink in my basement, which is where my craft room is, and I kept forgetting to wash out my brushes, so I've just ruined a lot of bookbinding brushes. But it does, if you even it out, it does always get a better look. So since the insert is a little shorter, you should be able to just do the length of the dictionary page and you won't have any extra. And if you do have extra overhang, you can just cut that off. Since the length of the insert isn't very specific. Actually gonna cut, didn't lay it down quite straight. Cut off my extra cardstock that's sticking out. Trying not to cut the dictionary page, just the cardstock. I don't know if I'm accomplishing that. Oh, it slid while I was cutting. Oh, come on, slide back. I should have waited till it dried some. I have a white edge on the side. Okay, it'll be okay. Maybe with the distressing you won't be able to tell. Okay. Okay. We have enough to do like another one. Move that over there in my scrap stack. Right. Oh no! A tattoo caught up in the trimming. Please unstick. I forgot to put my tab on. Ah. Look, it doesn't matter how many of these things you make, you can still get forgetful about it. Okay. Come on, you want to let your tab in. I'm glad I used the tape. I mean the glue. It's a little more, at least momentarily forgiving. Ah, my goodness. That would have been hard to pull out with a little tabby on it. It flew all over me. Okay, so we're going to let that insert dry a little bit while we work on de-stressing this and then putting it on the envelope. Okay. Still quite wet. Alright, I'm gonna color all of that little white edge, even though we won't see it once we put the stickers on anyway. Just so there's not any color changey difference underneath the sticker. Because if you use like a lighter color sticker like yellow orange, sometimes you could see a color difference. Okay, I kind of was just very heavy handed on that. That's okay. And you're not all the way dry. I just got glue on my ink dauber. That makes an interesting color. That's why you wait till your glue dries, guys. It'll be okay. At least it's on a part where I'm putting a sticker. I'm not being very pretty with my de-stressing like I was on the first one, but that's okay. Oh, in other news, because I've been asked while doing demos, and you know, I always tell people, well, if you buy something in the show, you can always go look at the video receipt for like 60 days, I think is what it is, and you can pull back up the whole video so you can rewatch the tutorial. Well, my new camera setup my husband got me started on, this is my first demo that I am recording, and once I go create it, it'll probably be the second video that I upload to my new YouTube channel. I'm gonna start a YouTube channel. I'm excited. It means that people can watch me be odd on camera any time of day or night. Alright. Make sure my envelope is the way that I want it. Okay. I'm gonna line this up. And at least it's glue because it's slightly more forgiving. Because I did not line that up very well. Slightly more forgiving and a little oozy. Alright, and let's just make sure I didn't glue my envelope shut. Alright. We're going to switch. I'll let that one dry a little bit. I'm going to put stickers on this one. Oh, I do got to get out my rose stickers because I forgot to pull them out. Alright, let's see what colors do we want. What colors do we want to put on here? We can pick 2 different colors. Y'all can help me pick what sounds like a fun combination. And get all the colors out. Let's see, we've got dark red, orange, blue, yellow, a dark purple, a slightly lighter blue, a white, a pink, a lighter purple, and then a black. So what color, 2 colors y'all think we should do today? Finally finished the binding. Ooh, what are you working on binding? Oh wait, I'm getting distracted. Okay, let's see. Do we want to do... We can do like the dark red and orange, or Maybe like the black and yellow. I don't know. Which one seems more Halloween quilt? Oh, nice. All right, which one do you guys think looks more folly? The orange and the dark red or the black and the yellow? Just trying to do folly colors. I think those are the most folly ones I have. No opinions? There's no one in here that is opinionated? Alright. Going once, going twice. I might just do... I might actually just mix them up and do the black and the dark red because I just love this. So we'll just do that. Alright. Right one. Which one was the right one? Was that red and orange? Alright, well, we'll do the dark red and the orange. Right hand. Alright, well now I'm down to I want to do dark red with the orange or dark red with the black? Because I changed my mind. I didn't want to do yellow. I don't know which ones look better together. I mean, all these flowers look good together. The orange, the red, and the orange. Alright. We'll go with that. Alright. So I'm going to chop these in half. And I'm going to go where I get leaves kind of on both halves. This one only has one leaf, so I guess only one side's getting a leaf. Okay. Alright, so I'm going to do this leafy one. Oh, I didn't distress it. I'm getting ahead of myself playing with stickers. Alright, we're going to de-stress the whole little tab again. Once again, my glue is not quite dry. That's okay. I forgot I heavy-handed the front part, so I should probably make the insert match it. Alright. So I'm just going to pop half of each color, if I can peel it off, onto the insert. There we go. So at least our little insert is done. Not quite dry, but it's done. And then on the front page, I'm going to do the opposite. I'm going to put the darker one at the bottom. And now these you're going to want to put coming up from the top and the bottom. so that you can cover that little discrepancy. On the first project, on the mini envelopes. Okay, yep, I can pull those back up. I didn't know I put those where you had to bid on them. I thought they were in there as a buy it now. I'm sorry. That's why I didn't run them. All right, and then our trim. All right, and I'm gonna try to just do a line here and hope that I keep it mostly straight. Nope. Good thing as I draw clear. Told y'all, I can't draw a line. All right, and then I'm just gonna put that to the side, because it needs to dry and it's not gonna stay flat right this minute. And then I'm just gonna show it in its little pocket. So now you've got a little pull out that coordinates perfectly, a pocket belly band. And I'm gonna put the very soggy pocket belly band over here. And let me pull up those mini envelopes for you. I did not know they weren't in a buy it now, y'all. I'm sorry about that. Alright. That's so crazy, because they should have, like... Alright, so I'm gonna make two different stacks. I've got a vintage set stack, and then the, Halloween and Wonderland stack. And then I guess you guys can just let me know which one you would like. Thank you guys. I'm glad you guys like it. I like making random stuff. And I definitely wanted to do something that wasn't like took the whole hour just to do one thing like I did last time, because that was slightly stressful. Like I rushed thinking I wasn't gonna finish it the whole time. Alright, so the mini envelope kits are running. Let me cut that down to 10 seconds. And I do have several of both types, so you guys don't have to overbid each other. If more than one person is interested, I have several of those types. And you want it vintage? Oh, and you unlocked Bronze Skull. All right. And then we'll let that run again in case somebody else is interested. Oh, and that's your first purchase from me. You get a hello from my Rainbow Scully. Hi, thanks for your purchase. And peace out. Did you want the Halloween and Wonderland, or did you want the vintage style? Halloween. All right, and we'll let that run again. All right, and I'll let that run one more time if anyone else is interested. And I do have like 5 minutes left, so if you guys want anything else ran that is in my bin, just let me know. I do have some other kits and different sets in there and all kinds of crazy stuff. And if you guys are interested in shopping with me, I do a Wednesday night show every Wednesday night. I'm a late night crafter. So when you guys get done running this train after the last person's done at 11, feel free to come find me because I will still be online then, having fun and going through all kinds of random stuff. Oh. Let's see. and Mona, you got a coupon. I didn't mention that. You can unlock Bronze Skull, so you've got a coupon up at the top to come back and spend. Let's see. I was going to do... And if anyone is interested, not do the ones that are wet. I have 3 different, well, I guess 4 different rose ones, including the one offset drawing. I've got 2 rose ones that open to the right and one that opens to the left. So if you guys are interested in any of those rose ones, that is running now, and you get your choice of which one you would like. That way, in case you don't want to go through making your own and you would just like one that is already finished for you, you can have one. Cute little slide outs, all color coordinated. Now I gotta actually hit start Craft Alice live. Alright, I will get ready to raid over to her. Alright, and then if anybody is interested in a fall belly band, fall pocket belly band, I have 2 of those done. You get your choice. They're pretty similar, but already made for you, and you don't have to make them. Oops, thank you for the bin purchases. Alright. Want to get ready to raid you guys over. Thank you guys so much for having me on this train. I always enjoy doing this. I like it. It's nice and relaxed. It's not stressful. Alright, Craft Owl. Thank you all for your purchases, and come back and see me after the train ends after 11. Bye!